Hello there. After a while I came back to chess 45 and I started to play again classical online games. I joined this season a little bit earlier, so the round 3 is actually my first round which I'm playing. And if you have been following my channel before, you know that I used to play many of these LoneWolf tournaments. Then I took a break and now I'm starting to play this again. So in this game I'm facing a much stronger opponent. As you can see from the description, it's a 200 points stronger opponent. Not only classical chess but also in blitz bullet. In all categories he's just stronger than me. And here I'm playing with white pieces and well, just as an introduction to the game, we played Sicilian, I played Grand Prix attack, and I was trying to be annoying, aggressive, attacking all the time, just hoping that he will crack at some point. And this is exactly what happened, and this is how I won the game. And I think this is very nice game, one of the best games I've played for sure, online, maybe even over the board. So I'm very satisfied how this game went. If you put it in the engine and if you run the engine, then you will see that not every move is perfect. It's not like white always had the advantage, you know, from the engine perspective, sometimes black had the advantage, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter when you play with a human opponent. If you exert the pressure, if you just keep attacking, if you just keep adding pieces to the attack, it's very uncomfortable and you are better even if the engine says opposite. So let me show you the game. I opened the game with e4, as I almost always do, and he played c5, this is the Sicilian. And here I played knight to c3, going for the f4 so-called Grand Prix attack. I have different approaches to Sicilian. I used to play, if you go back, I used to play open Sicilian, I used to play this bishop b5 Sicilian, I used to play Alapin, and I play everything against Sicilian, so now I felt like playing knight to c3. He played a6, which is a little bit unusual for this setup. This is usually played when your opponent wants to go for the open Sicilian. Okay, the idea is to take away the b5 square, which is nice for the knight and for the bishop. So this move actually makes sense. It has some name, but you know, I don't like opening theory, so I don't like names. And I just forgot how this a6 is called in Sicilian. Doesn't matter. I played f4. So my plan for the beginning was to go for the Grand Prix attack. The Grand Prix attack is just putting your knight here on f3, developing your bishop, ideally on b5, and then exchange for the knight, but here I cannot do this. So I will develop my bishop, I will castle, I put my queen here, and then I will bring my queen either to g3 or h4, push the f-pawn at some point, push this d-pawn, and you know, go into attack with my pieces. Okay, many arrows, but this is the plan. You'll see how it went. So he played the knight to c6 here. I played the knight to f3, just developing. He played e6, logical developing move. So here I played the bishop to e2, developing the bishop so I can castle. He played knight to f6, developing his knight. And this was a slight error because now I have e5, chasing away his knight. He has to jump to d5. I'm exchanging knights, and now he has some troubles with his pawn structure. But not only that, the more important thing is that now he has lost his defender. Because if you can see in this position, okay, after knight f6, this knight doesn't participate in the attack. It will not participate. It's too far, and it's you know, it's difficult to bring this knight over. It's not so clear. While this knight is very important for the defense. So now when I played e5, I just exchanged my useless knight for his most important defender. So I was very happy with this exchange. Okay, I castled. He now played d6, challenging my central pawn, which is okay. But I don't care for now. I just want to activate my pieces, so I'm playing queen to e1. So this does align my queen with the king. And yeah, there are some possibilities of discovered checks here, but this is not the point. The point is that I want to activate my queen for the attack. So he plays bishop e7, natural move, developing, queen to g3. Now, this is first pressure, so now I'm attacking, obviously, this g7 pawn, so he castles, now pawn is defended, and now my plan is to push f5 at the right moment, and also push d3 to develop the bishop, and then come here with the bishop and here with the knight. This would be typical Grand Prix attack. But okay, it's too early for this. So before that I wanted to play c3 first. There are several reasons. First of all, I want to play d4 here, so I want to support the pawn. And also I want to control this knight. So I don't want this knight, you know, jumping here or here. Especially if he goes to b4, then he can make some threats to c2 and so forth. So this is just a useful preparing move. I'm controlling his piece, and then maybe I will play d4 at some moment. He plays queen to b6 here. Now he is x-raying my king, but you know, I don't really care. If he wants to put, you know, check, I can just move away. So it's not a big threat. I need to think about my pieces. I need to think about my bishop. So this is why I played d3. And I know I spent some time thinking about d3, but honestly I cannot remember what were all the reasons. It turns out to be the best engine move by far, but I'm not sure what are all the reasons. I mean, okay, obviously I want to develop my bishop, so I guess this is good enough reason. So d3, like I said, if he wants to deliver check, he didn't play this, but if he wants to do this, I can just slide over. If he wants to take this pawn, it's defended, so I don't care. Okay, so in this position he actually played d4, but frankly I'm not worried about his counterplay on the queen side. So if he wants to play on the queen side, it's fine with me. I have my own plans here on the king side. He lacks defenders. I have some kind of attack forming, so I went for this. Knight to h4 was the move I played, wanting to push the f5 pawn, the f pawn, so I can liberate my bishop. And you'll see that here he understands that my plan is very important to push the f pawn. This is what Grandmaster Jesse Cry calls the dream of Federico, the f pawn. So the dream of Federico pawn is to play f5 to make space for bishop, and also maybe to sacrifice itself to make space for the rook. And he understands this, and he doesn't allow me to play f5 for a long time in the game. So first he retreats his queen. Now my knight is attacked. I need to say, okay, sorry, and come back. And now he plays bishop to f5. Very nice move. So he's preventing me of playing f5. And now I'm starting to think that I will not play this so easily. So my bishop is out of the game on this diagonal. So I'm thinking about playing cat on my bishop and just trying to activate this on this long diagonal. So this is why I played c takes d4. He played c takes d4 back. I played b3. And now I put my bishop here, and you know, this pawn is a doubled pawn. It's isolated. It doesn't have any supporters from the e or c file. So if I put this bishop, this will be very strong pressure, and one day I will be able to liberate this bishop. So if I cannot move the f pawn, I need to activate my bishop here. Here he played f6. So these are the moments in which he starts to play some dubious moves. And you have to understand, black, you know, the attack is rolling. My pieces are all starting to become very active very soon. His king is lacking defenders, so it's very easy to make some mistakes. So he played f6 here. And I'm not really sure what he wanted to achieve. Probably he wanted to put his queen to the defense or something like this. Anyway, I played knight to h4 again, trying to dislodge this bishop and then maybe play f5. And now his bishop is under attack. There is nothing much he can do. He cannot defend because this pawn is pinned, so he has to retreat. And now, yeah, now he's in serious trouble. Because let's say he plays bishop to e6, well, I have a tempo on the bishop, and then I'm bringing my bishop here, and he's losing the rook. At least he's losing the exchange. So this is not what he did. If he goes here, he's just losing because everything is attacking. So he doesn't have many squares to go. So he played bishop to d7. But this is still losing the exchange at least, because I have this move e6, which I played. And now this is undefended pawn, but if he takes my pawn, then I play f5 with a tempo. And whenever he moves the bishop, let's say he moves the bishop on d5, probably the best square, the central square, then I have bishop h6, threatening checkmate. The only way to defend checkmate is with his rook. So now his rook is on f7, and I can just attack the rook, and now he's losing at least the exchange. And I still have the attack. I have the rook. I have all my pieces in the attack, and this rook is coming as well. So yeah, this is not a good line. So he had to do something else, and he did f5 here. Again, with a good idea. This is a blunder, because now he's giving me so many options. But I understand the idea. So the idea is to prevent me from playing f5 and to keep this bishop locked. And this is a good idea. But I have so many options. So first his bishop is attacked. And also by playing f5 he's attacking my knight again. So if I just take his bishop, he'll take my knight. So here I needed to do some calculation, and I calculated that it's best for me to first take the pawn. Now he takes with the rook. Again, he's blocking my pawn, which is good logic. Now I'm taking the bishop. And now again, there are some troubles. So he cannot take the pawn, because then I will play the bishop here and I will win the exchange, at least. So he cannot take my pawn. So he played h5 here, which is actually a response to the possibility of bishop g4. So now I cannot play this. And now I found a move which Engine thinks is the best move, and this is queen to g6. Keeping the queen close to the king. This always makes chess players so nervous, but also double attacking this pawn. So I can take this pawn. So he took my pawn and I took his pawn. And now he played rook to f6, attacking my queen. I retreated the queen to g3, and he played rook a to f8. Now he's doubling, he's trying to do something with my f-pawn. Bishop to g4, attacking the queen. Queen retreats to c7. And now I play f5. Now the idea is to support this pawn with my rook, with my bishop, and later, as you will see, with my g-pawn. So I'm keeping my kingside pawn structure very solid. And as you can see here, I'm a pawn up, and his pawn structure is really weak. So this is already winning for me. Here he played knight to e5, centralizing his knight. Okay. I played bishop to g5, because finally, now when my pawn was moved to f5, finally I can activate my bishop, and in a very nice way. So he first took my bishop. Okay, I don't have any troubles with this. And now he retreated his king to f7. I played the rook lift, rook to f3. Now I will also double on f-file, and also this rook can go to the h-file maybe. He took my bishop. Okay, I'm fine with exchanges. And now he played rook to f6. Rook to c1. First I'm taking control over the open file. This rook is protected, so this comes with tempo. So queen to d7 here was played, and now I play g4. So I told you that I will be able to support my f-pawn with my g-pawn. So now everything is solid. I don't have any weaknesses in my position. He has some very weak pawns. His pieces are pretty passive. My rook is on the open file. This rook can be activated very easily. I have a pawn storm if I want. So I have 3 pawns against his 1 pawn. So there is a pawn storm coming. I have so many options. So here he played b5. Okay, expanding a little bit. And now I played rook to h3. Not the most precise move, but I wanted maybe to make some more exchanges. So here my goal is basically to exchange queens. If I manage to exchange queens, there is no way he can win with he has a pawn less and very weak pawns. So I'm kind of playing for exchanges. So here he played queen to b7, and now immediately I'm looking at possible penetration squares. So okay, maybe he wants to centralize his queen, but I'm interested in these squares. If these squares are secured, and they are, I don't care. So queen to h4, threatening some nasty checks here. Rook to h6, queen to g3. If he wants to exchange rooks, it's fine with me. He doesn't want to do this, so he comes back. And now I played queen to g2. Like I said, I don't mind exchanging queens, because if he exchanges queens, I will have active rooks. I can play my rook here, attacking these 2 pawns. I can play my rook maybe even here. I have plenty of options, and his pawns are just weak. So I'm offering the exchange of queens. He doesn't like this idea, so he plays queen to f7. His all pieces are looking at my f-pawn, which is strong, so he doesn't have some good position. So what to do here? I'm trying to centralize my queen. So I play queen to e4, centralizing and also attacking this d4 pawn. He plays queen to a7, protecting the pawn. So now I'm playing queen to d5, so making my queen more active, more centralized in my opponent's camp, and he doesn't have much choice here. If he, my rook is controlling these files, so he can either block with the rook or with the queen. If he blocks with the rook will be pinned. If he blocks with this rook, then this pawn is falling. So not much choice here, so he's blocking with the queen, and now this pawn is just a free pawn. I could exchange queens here, but pawn is a pawn. Now he plays queen to e7, trying to gain some activity. Again, I'm delivering check, centralizing my queen, and now he decides to block with this rook. So now this rook is pinned. I played queen to e4, again offering the exchange of queens. I'm now 2 pawns up, so it's clearly winning. He plays queen to g5, he doesn't want to exchange queens. And now, again, I have to be careful. First of all, he's attacking my rook, so I don't want to blunder the rook. And like always, when in these kind of positions, I'm always looking at penetration squares. So these are the penetration squares for the queen. So if I were to play something like rook to e1, let's say, which is an engine move and which is a good move, I don't like this. I don't like him penetrating my camp. He's attacking the pawn, he's, he can be annoying. So I am always, I want to play this safe. When the queens are on the board and the king is open, it's not, surrounded by pawns. So I'm looking at penetration squares. And this is why I decided to play this rather passive move, queen d1, but it holds the position. Now all the penetration squares are controlled and he cannot move forward with the queen. And at this moment, he made a blunder. But just before this, you can notice, I don't know if you can see the clock. So because of the attack, he was all the time. So let's go. Okay. So here he has 6 minutes, and now all these combinations. Now he's under 2 minutes, and now he's under a minute. He has minute or so, and now, okay, now he's under the minute. So he's in enormous time pressure, and I have 8 minutes. So this is what happens in real life human chess. So you are attacking, you are threatening all the time, checkmate is threatening, losing the exchange is threatening, everything is threatened, and then the defender loses, lots of time. So here he has 39 seconds, okay, 1 minute. So he's below 1 minute, 46, 43. At one moment he was like 36. He almost flagged. He was like, almost at 0, and then he would play the move and he would gain another 30 seconds. So 36 seconds, 35 seconds. So 35 seconds means that he was 5 seconds and then he made a move. 34 seconds, 51. So 36 again. So he was under the time pressure all the time. And this is why he made this blunder. So rook to f5 looks strong, looks like it's just losing the pawn because this pawn is pinned. But yeah, I have a good response. I have to admit that at first I was thinking that I made a blunder, and now I'm losing 1 pawn, and yeah, now he's better. But I mean, not better, but he's better than he was before. But then I found this rook to h5, and now this is immediately losing. I'm attacking the queen. If he moves the queen, I just take the pawn, and now if he takes, I'm just a rook up. It doesn't matter. If he takes, then this pawn is no longer pinned, and I end up being a rook up. So another option is to, there is nothing he can do. He's just losing the queen. So he desperately played this d5 move, attacking my queen. And even here, if I would to take the queen, and he takes the queen, I take the rook, I'm still a rook up. So I can just take the queen here. But there is even a better move, which I played, and this is a queen to e6, check, and now here he resigned, because now whatever he does, I'll just take the queen, and my queen is still on the board. So here he resigned. And yeah, like I said, it's a nice game, and I'm very satisfied with my chess here, although if you put it in the engine, it looks like, white is better, black is better, not clear. But from the human perspective, white was attacking all the time, creating threats, and black was out there sweating, trying to defend, and then he ended up in a time trouble, and finally he cracked. He played this f5 blunder, and now finally this rook takes f5 blunder. So 2 blunders both on f5. And like I said, even if this is a stronger opponent, and he's obviously better than me if you look at all his stats, but you know, nobody likes being attacked. So when you attack, when you don't have, you know, fear of your opponent, just go forward, just create threats, don't blunder yourself, and you can beat even stronger opponent. Okay, this is it for the game. Thank you very much for watching. I will be playing this LoneWolf tournament for several next weeks, and if I evaluate that some of my games can be instructive and worth showing, I will maybe make some more videos. Thanks for watching. Cheers.